In this material, you will learn how to connect the high-pressure fuel sensor signal and the types of sensors you might encounter in direct fuel injection engines. You will find information on this topic on the diagram for the direct type controller. Please remember that the signal coming from the high-pressure fuel sensor is absolutely necessary for the proper functioning and calibration of the LPG system, and it needs to be tapped into the first emulation channel, specifically the analog input labeled IN-AN1 and the analog output labeled OUT-AN1. The most frequently seen type of high-pressure fuel sensor is the one with 3 pins, where you will locate the ground connection, the plus 5-volt power supply, and the analog linearly increasing pressure signal. Keep in mind that the signal originating from the high-pressure sensor, which is connected to the first emulation channel, the connection between input IN-AN1 and output OUT-AN1 must provide a signal that is increasing in value. The second type of sensor encountered is the 4-pin sensor, where you will find the wire for ground, the plus 5-volt supply, the analog voltage pressure signal, and an additional analog signal for fuel temperature. In this case, you must determine which wire is the pressure signal. You can find 4-pin sensors that include integrated temperature measurement in vehicles made by Subaru and Opel. For these two types of analog sensors, you can use the built-in high-pressure emulation ECW, and you can apply the additional fuel pump emulator EZP. The third sensor variant that you may come across is the digital sensor type. We do not recommend disconnecting the pressure signal here to avoid interfering with the digital transmission to the gasoline ECU. This sensor type is typically encountered in more recent engines from brands such as Chevrolet, GMC, Opel, GM, and the Volkswagen Auto Group. Remember, for this sensor type, CWO emulation, high pressure from OBD, is absolutely required. The fourth sensor type is the 4-pin sensor, which, in addition to the power wires, ground and plus 5 volts, has 2 analog voltage-based high-pressure signals, one signal that increases and another that decreases, which is the inverse signal. You will find this type of sensor in newer Alfa Romeo, Fiat, Jeep, GMC, and Chevrolet engines. In this case, to correctly emulate the pressure sensor signal, you need to cut 2 signal wires. The rising one on channel 1, wires IN-AN1, OUT-AN1, emulation 1, and the falling one on channel 2, wires IN-AN2, OUT-AN2, emulation 2. Simultaneous emulation of 2 signals is required here. When using ECW or EZP emulation, you must activate EOC emulation, reverse sensor emulation, on emulation channel 2. The diagram also shows you how to connect the pressure signal when using 2 direct controllers in master-slave mode for 6 to 8 cylinder engines. In this case, we only cut the pressure signal for the master controller. Conversely, for the slave controller, the output OUT-AN1 from the master controller must be connected to its input IN-AN1. This connection allows the gas system to function correctly. You will find detailed information on the diagrams and in the documentation. Please remember that the integrated oscilloscope is a useful tool when you are connecting the pressure sensor signal. When set to the Input 1 mode, which is located in the Direct tab, as well as the Input-Output Disconnector tool found within the EMUL tab.